Alex being with KSI Press around Louis Gurule, who's coming off a first round knockout at LFA 141. Louis, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Did I do good on that last name?
Yeah, Gurule. It's an easy
Perfect.
one to mess up.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, I practiced it. I didn't want to fuck it up. So it's been 6 days since your fight. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. I'm got sick a little bit right after the fight. I think my body just kind of crashed. So a few days off from the gym, but ready to get back to it.
Awesome. Well, I mean, it lasted less than 2 minutes, so I just want to know what were your thoughts on your performance that lasted 2 minutes?
Um, yeah, I'm always like my own biggest critic. So I saw a few things I wish I could have done a little better. As far as like corralling him and kind of not letting him get into that quick tie clinch. But I called a quick first round TKO or knockout and got it done. So I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, no, for sure. What was the game plan going into the fight?
Game plan was let's see how long he wants to keep it standing. I thought my wrestling was and my jiu-jitsu could have matched up with his easy, but I thought the biggest difference between us was going to be the striking. And yeah, turned out to be exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, and it was against a undefeated opponent, man. And you took his O. How did that feel?
Oh, that was awesome. It's been a little difficult finding fights as far as people that are, willing and accepting of a wrestler, So I was a little nervous, to be honest, but it was great. It felt like I completely validated. I'm just ready to get back in there now. I feel like the opponents are only going to get harder from here on out, so I'm ready.
It's two fights, two finishes, 100% finish rate. How important is that to keep that intact?
Um, I mean, as far as the finish rate is, I want to go in there and I want to put on a show. I want to finish 100% of the time. If that's not the case, I'm still gonna go for the win. But I don't put a lot of pressure on keeping up the streak. I don't put a lot of pressure on staying undefeated. I think as long as I prioritize our game plan and I prioritize, going out there and showing what I can do, what I do every day in the gym, then the streak's gonna take care of itself.
You fought in Colorado again. How did it feel to have all your friends and family there supporting you?
It was great. I love that support. Even when I'm in the cage, I can hear some of like the guys I went to college and wrestled with. I hear my family. I can still hear them like screaming. So it's pretty cool being able to hear that. I've only fought one other time out of Colorado. That was in Nebraska, my second amateur fight, and it was still a big difference. So always great having a home crowd.
Awesome, man. I did want to ask, the card was full of teammates. Do you get nervous for your teammates or not?
Oh, I get more nervous for their fights than I do for mine. Like, I'm pretty chill, like, before warming up and stuff for my own fight, get a little pumped up, listen to fast music and stuff. But as soon as they're fighting, my nerves are up to here. Like, I can't stand it. It's difficult because, you're training with them, you're best friends with them, they're like brothers. So you know exactly how important their dreams are. They're just as important as yours are to you. So, it just hits a little harder, the wins and the losses.
For sure, for sure. For anybody that does not know your story, how did you get into mixed martial arts?
Well, I was a wrestler previously, wrestled in high school and college, did pretty well. Didn't do what I wanted to do in college. Thought that martial arts was pretty much gone. Started working, got an actual career, an actual job as a geologist. And Yeah, I was just going crazy. I was like, ah man, I need something. I can't handle this without wrestling. And started looking up local gyms in my area, and Factory X came up, Easton came up down the road, tried them, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do jujitsu for a little bit, and fell in love with it, really liked it, started doing well. And then I had a few teammates that were already on the team, like, man, you're killing it, you should come out, join the fight team. And I was like, I don't know, man. It was like it's a big commitment going from your career to fighting. But eventually, yeah, I saved up some money and I was like, well, hopefully I'll be smart forever, but my body's not gonna last forever. And yeah, I made the jump about 2 years ago now and couldn't have been happier.
Awesome. That's awesome to hear. Thanks for sharing that. Are you still a geologist at all, or are you a full-time fighter?
Pretty much a full-time fighter now. I do some odd jobs here and there, but as I'm in there as much as I possibly can. I'm trying to make this full-time fighter like a career for a while now.
Awesome. I did want to know who are some of your training partners at Factory X. I know there's just nothing but killers over there.
Yeah, nothing but killers. I mean, the big ones, of course, Brandon Royval, 125 pounder in the UFC. Me and him just, bundle of cats just rolling around, going at it. He throws me in 10 submissions in 5 seconds. I'm just trying to stay alive. Yusuf Zalal, Chris Gutierrez, Clay Matza, Rafa Will. They're just killers row over there. Askar just fought in the LFA. There's just so many good partners around my weight. Like I can't go wrong. I get better every day.
Awesome. Well, finally, a couple last things. What do you want to do the rest of the year? You already got two fights in. They're usually they were three fights apart. Um, do you want to get one more in, or are you
Yeah.
not trying to take the holidays off?
No, if anything, I'm like trying to push through the holidays, get as many fights as possible. I want to go into that new year with a great record. I want to be, 4-0, 5-0 if I could by the beginning of next year. Start the new year off with a bang. Hopefully, get into contender series or something next year.
Awesome. I did want to ask, what was the decision to go pro this year?
It was two quick finishes as an amateur. I was doing in the gym. And they just figured with my wrestling background and how I was progressing with my striking level that they're like, no, I think we're definitely more than ready to push you into pro. I think it's only going to get harder and harder to find amateur fights. Like no one's going to want to fight you after these two finishes.
Awesome. Gotcha. And then, as a flyweight that knocks people out and finishes people, there's a good chance that you get fast tracked very quick to the UFC. I mean, you already kind of mentioned possibly, hoping to be on the contender series next year. Like, is that kind of like your mindset? Like, you're going to get to the UFC quicker than normal.
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? The goal is to be a UFC champ, to be a champion at the highest level. And I feel like I train with fighters every day at the gym that are that championship level quality. So I have nothing but confidence in my own skills. I feel like if I do get fast tracked to the UFC, definitely think I'm going to be able to put on a great show. Like a huge inspiration to me is Brandon Royval over at the gym. Like it's almost like every fight that dude fights, he's getting like a bonus. He's getting finishes. Like super exciting flyweight. I think probably the most exciting flyweight in the UFC right now. Like I don't
Absolutely.
think that could be argued, right? And I want to be right there up with him. Like I want, I want to have those finishes. I want to have those bonuses, and I was really excited to show like what Factory X is about.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Lewis, thank you so much for your time, and I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might have, you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, GURULE_MMA. That's Gurule underscore MMA. And sponsors, Kevin sponsored me for this last fight. Totally random guy, just met him at a restaurant. Was just like, hey, I saw your ears. Do you fight? He's like, I like your attitude. Let me sponsor you. And I was like, wow. He's just like, pay it forward, man, whenever you get the chance. I was like, dude, that's awesome when you meet people like that allow you to follow your dreams. And yeah, a couple of my friends also have sponsored me too. They're like, I know how hard you work. Robert Earl sponsored me for this fight, Paul Wilson. So yeah, I couldn't do it without those people. Yeah, it's the little things really, like just pay it forward when you can. Like I love that. I've always wanted to do that. So I can't wait till I'm in an opportunity that I can do that myself.